Welcome into the Friday Night 360 AZ Preview Show. Haley Stasiak and Jordan Ham with you here in Week 6. We've got Salpointe Catholic head coach Bene here with us. Coach, thanks for joining us. How are you? Couple technical difficulties here, Jordan. All right, Coach, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for coming on. Sorry about that.
No worries. Thanks for having me. What's going on?
Well, you guys have a great start to the season so far. You're 5-0. What are you attributing this early success to?
You know, really, I think some of our offensive guys are maybe getting more attention in the media, but it's really been our defense. You know, we've only given up, I think, 21 or 22 points in 5 games, and so they're playing really, really well, and they've really bailed us out of some slow starts in some games, and I think they're the number one reason we're 5-0.
When you look at Bijan Robinson and what he's been able to do this year, close to 12 yards per carry as a sophomore. This is his second year at the varsity level. What do you attribute, or what growth have you seen from year 1 to year 2 for him?
Yeah, you know, we talk about maturity all the time, you know, physically and mentally, and Bijan's grown by leaps and bounds in both those areas. He's got much bigger and stronger, but, you know, more importantly, he's just maturing. You know, he's settling in as a high school student and a varsity player, and you know, the things like time management and the demands that varsity football places on the kids. And, you know, he's just he's settled into all of that, and he's maturing nicely. And then now I think he's just able to play on Friday night and kind of showcase his talent, so to speak.
You mentioned that defense. You have senior linebacker Chris Guar, who has 58 total tackles in 5 games this season. What makes him such a threat to opposing offenses?
Yeah, Chris has done a great job. He's a great leader on the field, runs our defense. He just really good in instincts and understands our scheme. You know, for us, it's all about alignment and assignment. Kids knowing what they're supposed to do so they can just react, play fast. And Chris has done all of those. Got a really good nose for the football, and you know, he's an undersized kid, but really plays hard and just gets after, you know, the ball carrier. And he's having a really wonderful start to his senior year.
You mentioned the Salpointe defense, and they've only given up just over 4 points per game. What makes this group unique? Because you've had some really good defenses in the past as well.
Yeah, we've got some young DBs, and they're really long, they're really athletic, and I don't know that we've ever been in that kind of situation before. So the back end of our defense is really solid, and it's allowing, you know, the front 7, I think, to make plays and be a little more aggressive and putting more pressure on opposing quarterbacks because the back end is has done so well in coverage and those types of things. So, you know, our young defensive core, defensive backs, along with, you know, a very solid front 7, that some mature kids, some strong kids, and so collectively they're playing really well.
Big game against Cienega on Thursday. What have you seen on film of the Bobcats this season?
Well, they're really explosive on offense. I mean, obviously with Jamari at quarterback, he's tremendous, and you know, they just move up and down the field. I mean, it's they've yet to be stopped offensively, and then you know, defensively, really solid. They are extremely well coached defensively, very fundamentally sound. Run a 3-5 defense, which is kind of what Coach Nugent has run historically, and they just execute. Like I said, very well coached, and they are difficult to move the ball against, and so it's boy, our work is really cut out for us.
Coach, thanks so much for coming on. Good luck this week.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Haley.
Have a good one. You know, it's interesting, he mentioned that he feels his offense gets a lot of kind of media attention, but the defense not so much. I mean, Bijan Robinson just blew up social media a few weeks ago with his impressive plays, but it really is, I think, just historically that defense that from what I've heard, just kind of under the radar, has been making big differences. And as he mentioned, they are.
Yeah, it's one of those things where points are always a premium when you're going up against the Lancers. It's tough to get in the end zone, but this group as a whole, they've played some pretty good teams here early in the season. And just to hold 21 points on the year through 5 games. That's just so impressive. I'm sure that will change with Cienega, but it's going to be, in my mind, the best offense in Tucson against the best defense in Tucson. So it's going to be a great matchup. Something that doesn't happen a lot because Salpointe's in 4A, Cienega's in 5A. But these are the matchups that you definitely circle on the calendar for those big time matchups. So it's going to be really exciting to see what happens on Thursday night.
Coming up next, we're going to have AIA Executive Director David Hines. Keep it right here on the Friday Night 360 AZ Preview Show.